Fighters of the 248th Battalion of the Ukrainian Territorial Defense Forces 129th Brigade have prevented Russian army soldiers from evacuating their wounded servicemen after the battle in border Kursk region. The UAZ car in which the wounded soldiers were placed was blown up by a kamikaze drone strike. As a result, all the wounded were destroyed. Later, vehicles carrying soldiers and armored infantry fighting vehicles moving around were also targeted. As a result, a large number of equipment and military vehicles, as well as the wounded soldiers, were targeted by kamikaze drones.
Russia provided North Korea with oil, anti-air missiles, and economic help in exchange for troops to support Moscow's war on Ukraine, government officials and a research group said, according to a Kiev post. The United States and South Korea have accused the nuclear-armed North of sending more than 10,000 soldiers to help Russia fight Ukraine, with experts saying Kim Jong-un was eager to gain advanced technology and battle experience for his troops in return. Asked what Seoul believes the North has received for the deployment, South Korea's top security advisor Shin Won-sik said it has been identified that equipment and anti-aircraft missiles aimed at reinforcing Pyongyang's vulnerable air defense system have been delivered to North Korea. Speaking to local broadcaster SBS, Shin added that North Korea has received various forms of economic support. Separately, non-profit research group Open Source Center said Pyongyang obtained oil shipments from Russia. It cited satellite images showing that more than a dozen North Korean oil tankers, making a total of 43 trips to an oil terminal in Russia's ports over the last 8 months, according to a BBC report. Pictures also showed empty tanks leaving almost full after arrival. The report said, quoting British Foreign Secretary David Lammy, saying that the oil was payment for weapons and troops Pyongyang had sent to Moscow. North Korean leader Kim and Russian President Vladimir Putin signed a strategic partnership treaty in June during the Kremlin chief's visit. It obligates both states to provide military assistance without delay in the case of an attack on the other, and to cooperate internationally to oppose Western sanctions. Putin hailed the deal as a breakthrough document. Experts say Pyongyang could be using Ukraine as a means of realigning foreign policy. By sending soldiers, North Korea is positioning itself within the Russian war economy as a supplier of weapons, military support and labor, potentially bypassing its traditional ally, neighbor and main trading partner, China, according to analysts. Russia can also give North Korea access to its vast natural resources, such as oil and gas, they say. North Korea and Russia are under rafts of UN sanctions, Kim for nuclear weapons program and Moscow for the Ukraine war. The main threat to the Ukrainian armed forces from North Korea is its military-industrial complex, not its army. This opinion was expressed in an interview with UP by the commander of the 3rd Assault Brigade of Ukrainian Army, Andriy Biletsky. According to him, the threat is posed by their military-industrial complex. For example, the volume of artillery ammunition that the North Korea supplied to Russia is comparable to what all NATO countries provided to Ukraine in 3 years. It seems to me that the influence of the North Korean military-industrial complex on our war is an order of magnitude greater than anything that Korea can put on the battlefield. What the North Koreans have supplied to the Russians is, plus or minus, the same amount of artillery ammunition that all NATO countries have given us in almost 3 years. This is a problem, Biletsky emphasizes. He admits that these munitions are of poor quality. Even the Russians immediately recognize North Korean shells due to their low accuracy. However, they exist, and without them, the enemy would have a serious shortage of shells. In addition, the ballistic missiles that attack Kiev, Odessa, or Mykolaiv have also come from North Korea. Therefore, their military-industrial complex is a serious problem for us, while the participation of North Korean soldiers in the fighting is unlikely to become a significant factor, says Biletsky. According to him, the participation of even tens of thousands of North Korean soldiers in the war will not significantly affect the course of military operations because modern warfare requires high-tech equipment and the latest tactics. For example, an FPV drone can now cost about $300, and the defense forces are already actively using this type of weapon as an effective and inexpensive weapon. I believe that even if 50,000 of North Korean soldiers are involved, this will not radically change the situation on the battlefield. Let me explain. We are using new high precision and cheap weapons. Now, an FPV drone can cost $300. The types of field fortifications have changed, as have tactical techniques, both in defense and in attack. All this requires serious practice. Now, 2 countries in the world have such experience, us and Russia, the military man said. In his opinion, North Korea is, in a certain sense, a technologically backward country. Even gaming is not widespread there, not to mention the possibility of training on drones in civilian life. Biletsky, therefore, doubts that North Korean soldiers are capable of fighting by modern standards and is motivated by the fact that they are living in conditions at home that are similar to the horrors created in Soviet times by the main Directorate of Correctional Labor Camps. I don't think they'll be able to fight in today's reality. Of course, for all of us, it's terra incognita, but I also think that people from the Gulag have an extremely high motivation. Money? I don't think that salaries can motivate someone to die. I think their main goal will be not so much to fight as to survive. The commander notes,